I think one of the things that the near-death experience does, and even reading or hearing about it does, is it tends to increase your compassion and your understanding of other people. You know, and one of the things that happens in the near-death experience is people are not judged. There is no sense of external judgment, and when people are responded to that way in the context of the experience, they bring that particular frame of reference back with them, and so they tend to be less judgmental afterward, and even people hearing about the experience, as you suggest, may pick up something of the same effect.
Well, it suggests that there's a sense of perfect poetic justice in the universe, that the law of karma is operating flawlessly. I mean, I could forgive Hitler thinking that at some point he has to experience all of the pain that he himself has inflicted.
That very point once came up in one of my classes. I don't know if I have time to tell this particular story, but there was a woman who gave an account of a near-death experience that she had when she was in her 20s. She had a very abused childhood and was incested and so forth. When she came into the presence of the light, you know, people, when they get into the presence of the light, they can sort of ask almost any question, and the question will be immediately telepathically answered. And her question was, does everybody come into this light? And she was given the answer telepathically, yes, that everybody does. Then she said, even my father, who had done these terrible things, you know, even Hitler, and the answer was always yes. When it came time for questions from my students and myself, somebody said, how can you say that Hitler, you know, this paragon of moral evil and so forth, could actually have this particular experience of coming into the light? And she said, you have to understand there's a price. First you have to look at your life. So just as you say, can you imagine what the life review of Hitler would have been like to have gone through? Because one of the things that people say about the near-death experience in regard to the life review is that you become aware of the consequences of your actions, whether you intended them or not, and even whether you are aware of the repercussions or not. So, I mean, if you think of all the ramifications of Hitler's decisions about how things were going to be done prior to and during World War II, not just with the Jews, but with all the atrocities. You know, that man died over 50 years ago. You wonder whether his life review is over yet. Well, perfect justice.
It seems as if the life review takes place outside of our normal space and time.
It does.
Because it might take forever.
Yes. Yeah, I'm saying, I'm not really meaning literally that his life review is not over yet, but because people say in the near-death experience, and when they have the life review, that they are outside of time, and yet they can process all this information. And a lot of people, not to give it a heavy tone, because people have the near-death experience, they don't say, I don't want people to feel guilty about this. I don't want, they say, it's like a learning experience. It's meant to show you something. Because Hitler obviously is the most extreme case that we can use. In the normal case, what people say about the near-death experience and what they learn from the life review is, it shows them something. It teaches them something. It is a teaching. It's not something that's meant as a punishment or to scare people. And none of my remarks should imply that. It's meant to wake people up so that they simply become aware of the consequences of their actions before committing those actions, knowing that they themselves are going to have to be the recipients of them. It's as if there's only one person in the universe, and it's us.